ladies and gentlemen, and people of Earth, and people not from Earth. We welcome you to another abysmal and yet enjoyable episode of Film Banter. This is our 104th, although I do believe it's our 105th.
It's 104, I have it right here.
He says it right there, but he's been known to make mistakes before.
Yeah, but not on the paper. Not mistakes
not on the paper, he says, but I don't believe him. Okay, anyway, we're here.
Truth isn't truth, okay?
Yeah, nothing is true. It's all fake. It's all fake news. Anyway, we are here. We have another episode.
Another brilliant episode, another exciting episode of the bantering of film, the discussion of cinema, the
vomitation of cinematic knowledge and opinions.
The upchucking of the cinematic canvas before us. As we go into a theater each and every week. And we are going to try and slim down our show for you all. We've been doing this hour and 15-minute show that nobody watches. Even us, we don't even watch it.
No, I stopped watching.
We're here for it.
I lived it. Why would I watch it?
Exactly. And we're here for it, but we kind of zone out after the first half hour anyway. We just kind of sit here.
We leave our bodies.
You don't know this, but we just go like this for about 20 minutes or half an hour.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, all right. Is there anything you'd like to talk about first, sir?
You mean opening banter as opposed to
the opening banter.
I will say it was kind of funny but expected when I went to see
Louie!
Hey! Your dog is not part of the...
Well, he's
not part of the Me Too movement, I'll tell you.
He's a corn dog and a horn dog, ladies.
Stop it, buddy.
Stop it, buddy.
So when I went to see the first movie tonight, Ollie, I was probably the youngest one in the theater by at least 20 years.
How many people were in the theater?
It was pretty crowded.
Really?
I gotta say, I was surprised.
You saw it at the Rockaway Theater?
I went to Rockaway's to see it today because it was a...
What kind of theater? That's an AMC?
It's an AMC. Yeah, very nice multiplex. It was,
good.
I would say, fairly crowded for a noon showing on a Tuesday. It's also a $5 day.
True.
And it's senior day anyway.
It is senior
And this
day.
movie is obviously something that they would understand and enjoy.
Absolutely true.
But I was really surprised at how many people were in the theater.
4 people in my audience.
Oh, really? Mine was...
I'm going to go...
I'd say there was 50 people in there.
Hold on. I'm going to say a little bit more. Maybe 6 or 7 people.
Okay.
But I got there. I did go to the illustrious Palisades Mall, etc. So, but anyway, so there you go.
Yeah. Other than that, things are good. We saw the film. Saw a bunch of movies this week.
We did. We saw a lot of films. We got a lot of stuff to get to. So
we do. So we might as well just jump into it. I guess.
We might as well just jump into it.
Yeah.
Let us start out with.
We got Stan and Ollie.
John C. Reilly and Stan and Ollie.
We
the
assume,
untold story of the world's greatest comedy team.
We assume you all know who Laurel and Hardy are.
I think if you don't know who they are, you shouldn't be watching the
yeah,
show.
They are icons.
You should be out, masturbating with your rubber sheep, because you don't deserve to be here if you don't know who these wonderful human beings are.
Yeah, I agree.
And I will say, beautifully portrayed.
To me, I just kept getting struck by how much I was just feeling like I was watching Laurel and Hardy.
Well,
they did such a good job with the makeup.
They did.
And the voices, I gotta say, they're both excellent.
Yeah.
But especially Coogan, I feel really captured the essence of Stan Laurel. The way he spoke, the mannerisms. But then, I don't want to take anything away from John C. Reilly, too.
This was the harder role for me, because he had to project...
had that voice perfect.
They both pretty much had the voice perfect, but for me, I enjoyed John Seymour.
Okay.
I really did.
he was great.
I don't mean John Seymour. His name is John C. Reilly Moore. I thought his character, just the exude... This is truly in 100% a love story.
It is.
Is what this film is. And it kind of goes behind the scenes. I will say this, it kind of is. It was written around the time when Laurel and Hardy they were doing a European tour.
Yes.
Then this was basically the English tour that they were doing, the UK tour, and there was a book written. So that's really what we concentrate on with this.
And this is after their prime. They're no longer in films. 15 years later.
1937, they were the biggest comedy act in the world.
Yes.
They were bigger than Chaplin,
everybody. Yeah.
Bigger than you name it.
Yeah, Buster
Harold
Keaton,
Lloyd, whoever it was.
And Marx Brothers, Three
Correct.
Stooges, and
Absolutely.
I guess
the
Abbott and Costello was after.
Three Stooges came later on. They were in the 50s.
You know, I didn't remember the chronology. I know that
go.
Keaton and Chaplin were around their time, and then after them was the Marx Brothers.
Well, Keaton started in silent.
Yeah, he did
with,
start
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, exactly.
And Charlie became...
They're referenced in this film.
Absolute infamous...
Yeah.
Not infamous, but famous superstars. here we have Stan Laurel.
Look how thin he is there.
Well,
Gaunt.
is that?
That's him.
I don't know if that's Oliver Hardy.
Yeah, that's him. You can see.
Oh,
That's
I don't
him, very
think
thin.
so.
Must have been towards the end of his life because he
I
died
suppose.
after
Well,
4 years after
he died
this.
in 1956, and
Yeah.
he died in 65.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is truly a love story. I have to say I adored this film.
I did too.
I really did. It was so charming. It was,
It was.
so it just crept into me. I first thought, and I was about to say this earlier, that it's like when you go see, you watch the Titanic or you watch a movie and then you watch the making of that film. It will sometimes ruin the illusion. And when we find out that these guys are not the happy guys that we portray, but it's always like that, isn't it? You see the happy couple at the party and then you realize that, hey, God, did you hear John and Nancy are getting divorced?
True.
I mean, it's all about, it's the real life nature of people, human beings, and what they go through on a day-by-day basis. And these guys, that's Oliver there for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I guess the other guy is too.
It was, I carefully got photos that were Laurel.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool. Very interesting. But so this centers on the European tour that they did towards the end of their career. This was in the 50s that they started to do this tour, and Oliver was getting sicker, and but we just see the love between these guys, and they had there's that one big scene where they kind of go at each other there right after they do their first show, I believe, at the Lyceum in England, which is a huge theater. They were doing a tour. So it was, I just, and tears rolled down my face at the end of this film, I have to say. When they're on the boat and,
They're sitting there enjoying the breeze.
I tell you, and then
it's beautiful.
The two women in the
They
film
play their wives.
look pretty good.
Yeah.
When you see at the end of the film,
Yeah.
they show the actual wives.
Much older versions, but yeah.
But you could see that the wives were tolerated.
Yeah.
But the love was between these two guys.
Yeah.
And I thought John C. Reilly really pushed that love out. I loved it.
Well, he's got a great heart to him anyway.
He does
in anything
indeed.
he does.
Yeah.
I was thinking about him while I was watching the film, thinking about as an actor, as a person, John C. Reilly.
Yeah, he is a sweetheart of a
He
guy.
is, but I was thinking, did he grow up? I mean, I imagine he probably was aware of Laurel Hardy, but was he a fan? Did he ever think to himself, hey, one day I'm going to be playing Oliver Hardy? It probably never occurred to him, but then he's such a natural fit.
Yeah.
That makeup is so impressive.
Look at the makeup.
It's some of the best I've ever seen.
It was wonderful.
It's
well,
fantastic.
it was very similar
Really
to
good,
it was very similar to Churchill. The
Church, maybe it's the same guy.
might have been
that Asian guy from Japan or
the
whatever.
Asian guy, whoever it was.
Wouldn't
who did
surprise
Gary
me.
Oldman in
Darkest Hour.
In Darkest Hour. I mean, my God! But I mean,
It looks so authentic.
him, hardly any makeup had
Yeah,
to
for
be
him
done.
it's just all physical.
Little bit
hair.
aging. No, a little bit aging when they show them
Later on,
15 years later in 1953, whatever it was, when they are starting the tour. But John C. Reilly, we see the cake. There was just one scene I noticed that when he turned his face, it just seemed like a big giant glob on the right, and it was much thinner. But that probably was the camera angle.
True.
But look at this. I mean, this is what he's very sick in bed towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
And they're debating whether they're going to be able to go on as Laurel and Hardy, or he's going to retire. And the show must go on is very much a part of this film. And gosh, I loved it. I really did.
I did too.
I found it such a treasure.
It's great.
Of just pure emotional. It was so heartfelt, and I loved it.
And you don't have to be a Laurel Hardy fan to appreciate this movie.
No.
I think if anything, if you're somebody who was like a young kid who's not aware,
Well, it'll
it'll
helps.
maybe pique your interest, and obviously it helps.
It helps.
But as somebody who grew up watching everything they did, I actually still learned a little bit. Like I didn't realize that they had that falling out for a brief period, basically due to money with Hal Roach when Stan left, and I didn't realize that he had done a film
Just
with
one
with that other other co-star, and then I also didn't realize. I know that it's Laurel and Hardy. I never really gave much thought to the fact that he was a real kind of the driving creative force. He wrote a lot of their scripts and was very
I didn't know that either,
much
that
into
he
the
was the-
negotiations.
Well, he
with-
was the I think they were both part of the negotiation
But
part.
this
But
seems
he
like
was
he
the
was-
creative essence.
He really was.
He
yeah.
wrote everything.
Yeah.
And I loved how. And I love one little bit that they say at the end of the film, and I knew this as a fact because I know that Dick Van Dyke went to visit him. Dick Van Dyke was a huge Stan Laurel fan. And does an impression of him on the Dick Van Dyke Show. We're taking this review probably longer than we need
okay.
to, but that's okay. but there was he continued to write
Up until his death.
up until his death.
Yeah.
This is he died in 56, and then he lived till 65.
Laurel lived till 65, yeah.
Right. So to 1965.
Yeah, exactly.
So for 9 more years, eight years or so, he continued writing scripts for Laurel and Hardy, even though they were gone. But that was his brain set.
Yeah.
And I love the line when he just says, hey, Louie! Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen, my dog here. He always seems to interfere when we're doing this show. I don't know why. He's good the rest of the time. Louie, stop. He thinks no one's on him, so he can go jump on her, which is not nice, Louie. But I was just about to say one little tidbit there that I just did want to throw in there. Oh,
Dick
yeah.
Van Dyke would visit him.
Well, no. Well, that's a fact. But just when they said, okay, they know that the movie's not going to be.
Yeah.
So why did you continue throwing lines at me? Why did you continue writing the film?
Yes. And why did we rehearse it?
Why do we rehearse it? Yeah. And he says, what else are we going to do?
What else are we going to do? Yeah.
This is who we are.
It's
this
great.
is what we are. And this is who they are. My God. I loved it.
Seems like a metaphor for our show. If nobody's watching, this is who we are.
Exactly.
We're doing it.
We do it. What the hell?
Because we love doing it.
We do.
But yeah, it's a great film. I
really
enjoyed
is.
it. I can't wait for my dad to see it.
Yeah, it's a
he'll
treasure.
enjoy it. It is a treasure.
It's a little treasure
it is.
that if
my
you
late
get-
uncle would have loved it.
Yeah.
It's a shame. He was a big fan too.
It's a very sweet
It
movie.
is.
There's not there's no violence and harshness.
No.
And there's very little anger, and the anger is resolved into love very quickly, and it just.
And it's just so interesting to watch.
It is indeed.
And it's
beautifully made.
And it's also, a look into the old Hollywood, the studio system.
Absolutely.
It gives us a little bit of that whole time
Not
period.
too much
but a
about
little
that.
bit. Just in the
Very
beginning, that
little.
opening shot was one long take, which was awesome.
I noticed
Walking
that.
through the back lot into the soundstage.
Well, right up to the
That was
soundstage.
great. I
One
love that
shot,
stuff.
I know.
And it's all exposition.
It's very
it's
well done.
really well done. Yeah.
It was well done.
Bravo to everybody involved.
Who directed this film?
I was just going to say, his name is John S. Baird. The last movie he did before this, which I never saw, was that movie Filth. With
I
James
saw that.
McAvoy. Yeah, I want to see
I
that.
love that movie.
And he did a lot of TV as well.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
this is an accomplishment. It's really well done.
That's what's her name? The beautiful. Oh gosh, I can never think of this woman's name. She's kind
Who's she in?
she's in. I keep wanting to say Rose. She's a very famous actress. She was in Rent. She was in.
See, I remember that there's somebody else in the movie with him. Oh, she was in Rent?
Yeah,
It's not Rosario Dawson, is it?
Yes.
Okay.
Rosario Dawson.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God. Well, hey, wait till you see Filth, my friend.
Okay, good.
It's quite an amazing thing. I still find this hard to believe.
Well, you can see that it's him. Look at the eyes.
I guess.
That's him. You can tell.
Boy,
Totally
he's
him.
really
I
gaunt
can see
and-
it. Well, this is probably right before he died.
I would assume so.
Because Laurel looks pretty old there, too.
Let us move on, sir.
Well, we're going to move on to the next cinematic experience here. Serenity, starring the illustrious Matthew McConaughey,
Hi.
who's having quite the career since he turned 40.
Correct.
This film was directed and written by Stephen Knight, who did Locke, which I always liked with with Tom Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
He also was
Not a fan of that film.
I know, I liked it though.
That's a one-guy film.
It is, but I would say
one-man
it's a
show.
master class in acting. And
some extent.
Stephen Knight also was the writer of Eastern Promises, and he co-created that show Taboo with Tom Hardy as well.
Right. Okay.
This is I guess you could almost say a character study, but it's a
Well,
thriller,
it's a
a
film
mystery.
noir,
There's noir about a guy
That
who's
takes
a
a
seaboat
very
captain,
drastic twist.
which I didn't see coming. Which I
I
thought
didn't
was
want to
kinda-
see coming.
Yeah, it was interesting. Matthew McConaughey's a seaboat, kind of a shipboat captain who does a lot of charter fishing. His character has an obsession with catching this particular fish, which is kind of
A tuna.
a tuna,
fish,
which is
right?
a big part of the film. His ex-wife comes out of the blue. He lives on an island somewhere,
Plymouth Island.
Plymouth Island. We don't know where that's supposed to be. We think
Jason
it's the
Clarke
Caribbean.
shows up, who almost looks like a young clone of Matthew McConaughey.
A little bit, yeah. He's her new husband, who's an abuser,
Right.
who's a rich idiot, asshole.
Correct.
And so Jamin Hansu also was in the film.
Who?
Jamin Hansu from Amistad
Oh, of
plays
course.
his
Yes. No.
his ship. I guess his first mate.
No, there he is. Yeah, you said it so quickly I didn't
Yeah,
know what.
and
the
he
hell you said.
it's an Amistad reunion, by the way, because they were both in Amistad.
Oh, correct.
So yeah, the mystery unfolds, and then we have the other central characters, Diane Lane.
You left out the vital section of the film that is essential to the thing.
Oh, I didn't get to it.
Well, it is basically about it's the old double indemnity. It's kill my husband,
Yes.
so you and I can run off together and so forth.
Exactly.
However, it's more than that in this film because they have a relationship. He and Anne Hathaway.
Have a son.
They were never married, but they had a kid together. And,
No, I thought they were married.
No, I
thought
don't think
they
so.
said that they were married.
Oh, I don't believe they were married.
No?
But it's
Doesn't matter.
Irregardless, it doesn't matter.
She was good as a blonde, by the way.
She does
I
look
kinda
good as a
liked it.
blonde. She's in this abusive relationship now with Jason Clarke. He doesn't like the son, who is Matthew McConaughey's son,
who just sits in front of the computer all day.
So she now wants to have her husband murdered by Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
Take him out on the boat, get him drunk. He likes to drink.
Exactly.
And let him get pulled over the side of a nice little sex scene here with. We had a few sex scenes of this. We had like 2 or 3. Actually 2. We had Diane Lane at the beginning.
It was more implied than anything, but yeah.
True, indeed.
Diane Lane is just like his occasional. Girl. She pays him actually almost.
The booty call. Yeah,
pretty
he's
much.
a hooker.
Pretty much.
Well, he calls himself a hooker because he's a hooker.
Yes.
But he's also being used by her as a piece of meat.
Exactly.
But Matthew, you really, I am a man. Matthew is a beautiful human being. You really see it. You really see the guy.
I agree.
I think he's a great actor.
He's got a great screen presence.
Just got a great
look. I
just
agree.
got a great look. He the camera adores him.
Yeah.
His face is just so chiseled, and the hair and the body. He's really kind of a Superman in a way. He really is. There's not many people that look like him, that act like him. I really like Matthew. I liked him in this film too.
I did too. I've been a fan of his since the first time I took note of him, which was Time to Kill. I had seen him before that, but
with Sandra Bullock.
With Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
I had seen him in Dazed and Confused, but it didn't register that it was him.
I didn't care Dazed and Confused.
Oh, I love that film.
Did you?
But
no, I didn't love
and
it.
now, I threw a bunch of other caps of his other movies in here.
Okay.
Just because I figured we were going to talk about him a little
Yeah.
bit. But he's great. I mean, he's come a long way.
He has.
From the romantic
What the
comedies.
hell is this?
Upcoming, this movie is coming out soon.
What is this?
It's called Beach Bum.
Oh,
Looks
really?
weird.
Oh,
He's like a stoner the whole time.
Oh, here he is in Interstellar. Right here.
Yeah. But he's really a fantastic actor.
He is.
He earned that Oscar in Dallas Buyers Club.
Absolutely.
He is the driving force of this film, of Serenity. Did I love the film? I didn't love it, but I gotta give it like a... It's tough. I want to say 3 stars at most. I'm not going to go lower because I enjoyed his performance.
All right.
I enjoyed the twist, which, like I said, I didn't see coming. I like when a movie surprises me.
I have to recommend that nobody go to see this.
Oh, you didn't like
this?
it?
This is a film noir film. I wanted a film noir film. I wanted the original plot that was this film.
I know.
This film takes a very drastic, virtual kind of...
well, yeah, let's just say it takes a dark turn.
No, it's not a dark turn. It's a
not a dark turn, but
surrealistic turn.
Different turn than we expect.
Surrealistic turn. It totally brings us out of the movie that we're now watching. It puts us now into another film essence that carries on through the rest of the film. We lose our whole purpose for being. The whole first hour that we've now sat through has now just been thrown out the window. It is now just chucked to the wind.
We've seen that before, too.
Well, yeah, but I wanted the film that they gave us. I love this film, too. That's the...
Lone Star.
I like that. No, not Lone Star.
No, that's Lone Star. You're thinking of Newton Boys.
No, I'm thinking of the one he did where...
Because that's a shot from Lone Star.
The one with Gina Gershon.
No, you're thinking of Killer Joe.
I am.
Yeah.
I love Killer Joe.
Killer Joe. That's,
there
that.
You go.
You know what? I don't know if I got a shot for that. I love this.
That's too bad. And what's this?
Brain of Fire. Remember that with Christian Bale, the dragon movie?
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
That was fun.
That was
guilty pleasure 100%.
This movie, let's get back to Serenity. This movie takes such a horrible turn. I just wanted the movie that they gave us at the beginning. The first hour of this film was so good and cool, and I got into the character. I liked it. She's hiring him to murder her husband. Yeah. That all just fades away. Throw it out the window. It doesn't matter anymore. Now it turns into this.
But couldn't you argue that you've seen the other movie 100 times before?
I like that movie.
All right.
I wanted that movie. I've never seen it with Anne Hathaway and Matthew doing those
Yeah.
Postman Always Rings Twice
Yeah.
kind of a thing with Jack Nicholson and Jessica Lange
Yeah.
and Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. I wanted that film. I wanted the film they promised us. They copped out and they gave us some surrealistic, we're just manipulating you, you whole audience idiots. We're just going to play this game on you so that you're going to be befuddled and not know what you saw and not really enjoy what I saw. It just trailed off in such a weakness. I can't recommend this film by any means. I liked it. I like Matthew. I like Anne Hathaway. I like Jason Clarke. I like what's his name?
Jamun Hansu. Diane, you like everybody.
Yeah, I did. I wanted the film that I wanted to see, and I was deprived.
Well, we don't always get what we want.
Well, that's what the Rolling
As Mick
Stones
Jagger
never
said.
said. He said that you can always get what you want, but that's right, you get what you need. And I didn't get what I needed. I needed that film noir essence. This film I never saw.
Me neither, but I threw it on there because it's significant.
It's on Netflix too.
Yeah, I've almost watched it a bunch of times.
Yeah,
but I just
I've
never
almost tried. And
sat
that's
down.
Mahershala.
No, that's not Mahershala Ali.
Are you sure?
Positive.
It looks like him.
It's not him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. It's
What
not.
is it? This is Wall Street.
No, this is Gold, which I
Gold.
liked.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't bad.
Yeah, that's Wolf of Wall Street.
That's Wolf of Wall
Because
Street.
you know he filmed that when he was doing Dallas Buyers because he's emaciated here.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I guess I liked obviously Serenity more than you did. I didn't mind the twist. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I didn't like
but
it.
I was like I said, I was enjoying the first half too. Like you said, I
first
I
hour.
agree with you.
Yeah, it's an
I enjoyed
hour
that too.
45-minute
And I
film.
would have been fine if that continued.
Yeah, would have been
But I
fun.
didn't mind the twist that much because, like I said, I like being surprised. I don't want everything to be what I can predict in my head. Because how many movies do we see where you always know what's going to happen? It's annoying. I like when I don't expect something coming.
Yeah, but when you get a Matthew McConaughey doing a role with Anne Hathaway, and there's just that friction and that conflict and that spiciness, I wanted that film. I was deprived, so
Okay.
I had to put up with a virtual kind of oh boy, are we in a computer world? Are we not in a computer world? And oh my God. Please leave me alone. Please just stop. Here we have True Detective,
which was amazing.
which I'd like to just go into if we
We
may.
can talk about it for a second. It's,
Why don't we just segue right into it?
It's
dude?
one of his best performances, hands down.
Absolutely.
He won the Emmy, the Globe for it.
Absolutely.
It's
It's
great.
a 10 episode
Yeah.
thing, so he's not just an hour and a half
No.
Matthew McConaughey.
He
film.
got a real. He was able to do a
focused-
deep dive into this character.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and it's a great role, and
It's
I loved
awesome.
it. Woody Harrelson,
Great.
and it's a great story.
It's awesome.
Awesome
Yeah.
serial killer
Yeah.
story. It
Love
was
it.
frightening. It was.
Yeah.
It had me that last
In
hour.
case anybody's confused, it's the first season of True Detective,
Correct.
which premiered, I believe, in 2014, which was
a
excellent.
while ago
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the
Matthew-
third season is on, which
Correct.
is return to form for the series.
with Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali and Stephen Dorff was great.
Stephen Dorff was very good.
Yeah, it's a
no,
very good season, although I'm
Very
not
good.
caught up on the new episode.
I didn't see the new one
Yeah.
either, but.
But this is Lincoln Lawyer, which was the beginning.
Lincoln Lawyer.
This was the beginning of Matthew's ascension into his renaissance right now.
Correct.
Into his 40s.
Yeah.
That movie was the first one
Well-
that really branched him out of that romantic comedy prison he was in
I tell
for
you,
about 10 years.
and that was horrible.
You know what that was though? Get my nest egg going.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I
And-
can
and
do the
Sahara
stuff.
right
Yeah.
here.
You know, I never saw Sahara.
That's not bad.
I like to see it.
It's okay.
He did a cross-country promotional tour in an RV for that movie, which
Did
is
he?
pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, he probably did that.
Yeah. Well, he did those movies, all those Kate Hudson movies. Get the Bank.
Is that
that's
him?
Jamun Hansu, I believe, in the
Was
corner.
that
Yeah.
him? I wonder if that
But
was.
you do those movies, and then when you're older, more mature, you can get to do all those great character roles, all the good dramatic stuff.
Well, many
Because
actors.
he wasn't ready for it yet.
No, many actors. No,
You know?
I think he just took
I
the
forgot
quick buck.
Bradley was in this one.
What's this?
Failure to Launch. He plays
Oh.
the guy that doesn't want to move out of his parents'
Oh,
house.
God.
I never saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
Terry Bradshaw plays his dad.
A lot of bullshit. Here they
And
are
they're such
again.
good friends in real life too.
Yeah, is this a real life
This
show?
is so the movie was Surfer Dude,
Oh, okay.
which I never saw.
I bet there was a lot of weed going on there.
And this
yeah,
is
I think he made like 4
Fool's
movies.
Gold, at least 2 or 3.
At least 2 or 3 with
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great there.
10. Oh, she always looks great. 10 Ways to Lose Your Guy.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days,
I just-
2003.
Yeah, I know.
That's I
know.
think what this is from.
Yeah. But regardless.
But anyway, Matthew's a great
he
guy.
is a great guy. He's a great
Good
actor.
performer.
He's a good human being. What
He's
you see
versatile
is,
too.
What you see is what you pretty much get.
Here's the
with
Newton
him.
Boys,
Oh, there you go.
a forgotten
Okay,
film he did.
Interesting. Yeah, very true. Who's this guy right here? He looks very
That's
familiar.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Oh God! So my God!
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah, and here's the Oscar.
Double Oscars, Jared and him for
For
Dallas
Dallas Buyers
Buyers.
Club.
Excellent. Very
Now
good.
I think we're gonna go back to the beginning.
Okay.
I think that was the last one I did.
All right. Cool.
But
Well, let us move on.
let's
Very
move on,
disappointing
you know,
for
so
me.
I recommend it.
Serenity.
He doesn't.
Oh, I don't recommend it.
Again, you can see it at home. You don't have to run out to see
No one
it.
ever dies unless you break the rules.
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
please. You know, just give me the movie they promised
But
me.
you can start to see he's aging. You can start seeing it there a little bit.
Well,
you
I
know,
don't
weathered,
know.
but it looks good.
Then again, he's supposed to be a fisherman, so maybe they dressed him up. Diane Lane looks beautiful in this film.
She looks great. She
She
looks
always
good.
does. Well, you know, not so much in the Superman films. In the latest Superman films,
They
she
might have
plays-
aged her up a little bit.
They did age her
Yeah.
up because she's playing Clark's mother.
Yeah.
And you know, Kevin Costner was dad. She's the mom, and they aged her a little bit. But she's just you see her on a talk show. She's
I know.
just
She's
beautiful.
yeah,
She's a
ravishing.
lovely woman. I do enjoy it.
Can you ever forgive me?
Can you ever forgive Josh Brolin for screwing over his relationship
Yeah,
with
I don't know
Diane
why it
Lane?
ended. I don't know what
He was a
happened.
drunk. He was an idiot.
Oh, that's right. He was drinking.
Yeah, it was a drink.
Yeah. Speaking of drinking, in this film, Melissa McCarthy plays an alcoholic. She's a writer named Lee Israel. This is a true story about an author who wrote a few biographies in like the 80s or 90s, and then by the early 90s, she was washed out. And
Jane
Curtin's her agent and tells her, nobody wants your books. Go find another way to make a living.
Yeah.
So she stumbles along a correspondence letter between a famous celebrity and another person. Can't
I
remember
believe
who it was.
it's Oscar Wilde was the
Something
first
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
And then she decides to start forging them,
Correct.
but writing these really creative pieces that people love.
She becomes the character.
She becomes the character of whoever she's writing for.
Now, for all of you out there who are thinking of new ways to make money, this is probably a pretty good
And
way
this
to
is
make
a true
money.
story, by the way.
It is a true story.
Based
Where
on her memoir.
She literally started to, she'd get a hold of one letter, and then she'd copy it, and she'd, how did she, I guess she got them online or whatever?
Well, no, she would go to libraries and archives and get these things out. She would copy them.
But you can't just take out those. Those are for sale, those items. How did she get them
Well,
all
no,
to
if they're in a
copy?
library or archive at a college, she can look at it. But she would
can't take
sneak
them
it
out.
out,
Yeah, correct.
dupe it, put the dupe there.
No, she didn't sneak it out and dupe it. What she did
that at
was,
the end, at that one time.
but
she did that.
she looked at it.
Yeah.
She went home, duped it. Then she came back and put the dupe in and took out the original.
She went into a lot of biographies of famous people that have these
Richard
things
Grant,
in them.
by the way, wonderful in this.
And she copies their signatures.
Yeah.
She was getting a lot of books that were anthologies of, like, let's say it was a book all about Margaret Thatcher, and maybe there was a letter in there from Margaret Thatcher. She copied.
Well, a good example would be Dorothy Parker.
Yeah, that was
a
one of the main
columnist-
ones that she did.
Columnists from the 30s and 40s and so forth, and the columnists, along with Hedda Hopper, they were the women of Hollywood. They were, what they said went. And she then takes on the persona of Dorothy Parker, this great columnist, and begins to write in her style so that these seemed like totally unique letters. These letters sell for up to $400, $500, $600.
She's making a living with these.
$1,200 a piece.
Yeah.
So she now starts becoming a professional forger to some extent. And once
about a year or two.
Yeah, once they catch on to her, she has her buddy Richard Grant.
Her drinking buddy, Richard
Her drinking
Grant,
buddy.
who's fabulous in this movie. They're both up for Oscars.
Yeah, they should be.
They both are.
They both won't win.
No, but they're both.
But it's okay.
They're very earned nominations.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
I think Richard
And I
Grant
love
is
that
wonderful.
Richard is so excited about this because he goes, I never get nominated for shit.
Yeah.
Did you see that thing about him and Barbara Streisand?
No.
Well, apparently when he was a young kid, growing up in Swansea, somewhere in Africa,
right?
His family had a farm. And so
EIO?
Exactly. He was a big fan of Barbara Streisand. And as a teenager, a young man, he sent her a letter saying, I know you're tired, I know you're blah, blah, blah. You're tired from the road and doing all these movies. You're welcome to come to my family's farm and take a rest. Nobody will bother you. Nobody knows who you are down here. And
did she?
No, it never was. She never responded to it. Now that he's got the Oscar nom, what happened to that picture?
I don't
Looks
know.
like animation.
I think my TV might have rejected.
Wow, weird.
No, it was your picture.
Oh, because it was a JPEG, but it got messed up somehow.
It was too small.
Oh, that sucks. Anyway, so he went outside of her house recently, took a picture, put it on Twitter, and said, hey, I sent you this letter, Barbara Streisand, back in the day, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I had said to you this night. And then she finally responded to Twitter and said she was honored. But I thought it was kind of cool. You should actually, obviously now he's a celebrity. You have to respond and be a jerk, But I enjoyed this movie. I really did.
No, I did too. I was kind of dreading
really
it.
fun.
And then I really thought Melissa was great.
Yeah.
It's good to see her do a dramatic role.
Yeah.
She's always the comic actress that she is. I loved our people involved.
Yeah.
You know, we have all these librarian people
And then bookstore
people
owners,
selling,
yeah.
and they all become a little bit of the part of the puzzle here
Yeah.
that she has to go to. Here she's pulling a prank on one of the bookstore
Oh, yeah,
owners.
he's a jerk.
Who
Yeah.
reviewed, yeah, she's actually portraying. Who is she portraying here? She's saying that she's a famous person, and she's calling his shop.
Oh yes, I
And
remember
she's-
that. Yeah, I forgot who it was.
I forgot who it was, but it doesn't matter. But it's a great little movie.
Yeah,
It's,
and this is the female director. She did a good job.
Yeah, she did.
Her name is Marielle Heller.
There you go.
She's also the director of the upcoming movie about Mr. Rogers with Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh, interesting.
She's the director of that
Interesting.
film. But this is a very enjoyable movie. It's
really
playing
was.
now in limited release.
Is Richard Grant gay in real life?
No, he's not. He's got a family. Yeah,
Oh,
he's not gay.
interesting. Okay.
You'd think he was. He played the role so
Yeah,
well.
he played it so well. I just assumed.
Yeah.
And you know, he seems like an older British man.
Yeah,
And
could
they're
be.
all gay, it seems.
Yeah, I heard a whole
So-
interview with him on NPR a few weeks back. Very interesting. He had a
Was it?
very interesting
very
upbringing.
eclectic life, yeah.
He had an alcoholic father.
Look how cool this is. I mean, we just had a shot there moments ago. But all the different typewriters
She had to use, yeah.
she had to use to emulate the typewriters of the time period so that she could forge these letters properly.
That's a task in itself to do
I'm
that.
telling you, it's an amazing
Yeah.
thing that she undertook.
You couldn't get away with that now. It's too hard now. All the online
well,
stuff.
yeah, true. And
But
they
back
also
then-
have ways to, X-ray the paper to make
Yeah.
sure it's of a proper age. But she would go. She'd have Dorothy Parker's, address, properly made. I mean, she really went through a lot of work. This Lee Israel. She died in 2015.
She
looked
did,
like.
yeah.
So, and this basically is based on a book that
She
she
wrote.
wrote called "Can You Ever Forgive Me?"
Yeah, and this is the guy that they prank in that one scene.
Right, and she chronicles exactly how
happened.
she did. Excuse me, what she did here, and to scam all these people, and they say at the end she sold over 400
Different letters. That's amazing.
That's a lot of money,
And it was only in a year or two. That's a lot.
that's
She's
really
busy.
quite a bit. Yeah, she was very
And
busy.
to think, in another way you couldn't get away with this today is the sheer amount of bookstores that have disappeared since that period. This took place in 91.
Well, New York
92.
City, there's quite a few bookstores.
But I'm
though.
sure now there's a lot less than there were back then.
Well,
back then you throw a rock,
yeah.
you probably hit a nice bookstore.
Well, that's true. Now everything.
Now-
Amazon
now-
has
well,
killed all
well,
the
there-
mom and dad bookstores.
In plus stores in general, the amount of empty real estate on New York City
Yeah.
City streets,
Yeah.
it's actually almost at an epidemic level.
Yeah,
it's pretty
probably
bad.
so. Probably so.
But
I love this
it's
film.
a very
It's
entertaining,
small
entertaining
little
movie, very enjoyable.
You know, it's kind of a great double feature in a way with a movie like Stan and Ollie. It just
Yeah.
has that small, independent, kind
does.
of charming appeal to it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, but I really did.
And
it
she's
is
excellent,
funny.
too.
It is
It's got
funny
some
too,
comedy.
because she's just a comic essence.
Yeah.
There are some great little
She's
funny
just a funny
moments.
person,
She is a funny
you know?
human being.
But I'm happy she did a different role now.
Yeah.
So she's not just going to become typecast like Hollywood loves to do.
Well,
This is good.
True.
But she's allowed to still do a little comedy, and I thought she did a great job balancing the two.
Absolutely.
And this girl was very good too.
I really liked her a lot.
Her name was Dolly Wells.
Yeah, I really did like her.
Yeah.
I like the scene at the end where she sees her because Dolly had given her a little like a screenplay or a
Yeah, yeah.
little essay.
Oh,
that
yeah,
she
can you read
wrote.
this for me? Yeah.
Can you read this and just judge it? I respect you as a writer. So Lee Israel says, sure. And she doesn't. But then when she's home on house arrest, she has
reads
the
it,
ability, and I'm not giving any
No.
real thing away here. I mean, the essence of this movie is the
I like
story.
that shot, too.
That's a great shot.
Yeah.
It's a great shot. I like the blurry into the sharp.
Yeah,
and
it's really cool.
It is kind of cool, but great little film. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, it's a
not,
great, easy watch.
Not everyone's going to watch this film, and that's a shame in a way.
Yeah.
But if you're a movie buff, I hope you get
I think
to
you'll
see
enjoy it.
Yeah,
And it's not terribly long, you know.
No, it's an hour and 46
Whatever.
minutes.
Yeah, and it moves.
It does move. It's great.
And he's really fun in this
Everybody,
movie.
it really is a comedy,
Yeah.
and no question about it. They say it's a dramatic film. It's not a dramatic film. He's very funny. You know, here he is picking up his young gay protege.
Yeah, he's like, I just couldn't help
taking him
myself.
home. I couldn't help it. He was so adorable.
Yeah.
You know, and he takes him home. Here's all the typewriters. It's kind of cool.
It's neat.
It's an interesting concept of what she tried to do, and she realized that there was money to be made there. And I think Melissa is so good, and she's like a drunken, almost a kind of a white trash kind of.
She's a very vulgar person.
Yeah, she's vulgar.
Jane Curtin, as her agent, says to her, you know, you're not successful enough to be able to get away with being such an asshole.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Bravo for this
Yeah,
film.
I really enjoyed it. I really recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go check out Can You Ever Forgive Me?
There you go.
All right, moving on to another film called Cold War.
Cold War.
Which is one of the films that's up for Best Foreign Film. The director is up for Best Director nomination.
It's up for Best Picture, is it not?
I know Best Foreign Film. I don't think it's up for Best
I
Picture.
think it is.
Is it? I could be wrong.
Yes.
I have to check. But this is a Polish film.
No. This
directed
is up for
by
Best
Paweł
Picture.
Pawlowski.
Yeah, in fact,
Is it up? Then it's on two
Yeah,
both
because the
categories?
director is up for Best Director.
Well, he's up for Best Director.
Which knocked out Bradley Cooper.
True. But I just didn't
Definitely.
realize it was up for Best Picture
Best
as well.
Picture. Oh, absolutely. Well, there's 8 Best Pictures.
You're right, but I didn't remember that was
Roma,
one of them.
Cold War, Stars Born, Green Book.
Black Panther.
Black Panther is 5. And there's
seen
3
them all.
more easily. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up now.
Yeah.
You want to do the premise real quick?
I'd be happy to. It's a film about a Russian troupe of singers who are basically they come together. They are rehearsed by this man here. It is a traveling group of women who travel around the country and countries in Europe, and he's a married man. She begins to have is he married or is he just
No,
with
he's
that
a bachelor.
woman?
No, they're just
He
partners.
is.
The woman that, well, maybe him and the woman were
I think they
fooling
are
around.
married.
I don't think they're married.
Well,
no.
I'm not sure if they were, but she was very.
I think
but
they're-
anyway, you pointed out that he looked like what's his name from Doctor Who?
Yeah, Matt Smith.
Matt Smith
Yeah.
a little bit.
He's
Here's
got a
his
good
partner in the
He has
film.
a good look to him, a good presence, as
He
does
really
the girl.
is. He's got very much a movie star
Yes,
look.
look at her.
Look
she
at
looks
her.
like
She's got
Kate
that-
Beckinsale. No, not Kate Beckinsale.
No,
Kate
no,
Blanchett.
no.
Kate Blanchett a little bit.
Well,
Little
much more.
Naomi Watts, maybe.
You know, this is a very sexy little film.
It is.
I really like
Beautifully shot.
Beautifully
gorgeous
shot. It's
movie.
gorgeous black and white.
And I think, I
It
think
is in 3:4 ratio, though. It's not a widescreen film.
No.
This is how the film looks.
Yeah.
You've got chunks on the side and chunks on either side of the film. So it's a very, almost like the old TV concept
Kind of, yeah.
3 feet by 4 feet, you know, the 3:4 ratio.
And I
But
think this film is one of those movies that it's more effective in the black and white. It probably would look good in color, but I think it really works well for this story.
You
The
know,
subject
after
matter,
Roma, though,
post World War II.
I kind of didn't want to see another. I thought this was going to be another bleak,
Yeah, me too.
Russian kind of, life is horrible. We try our best to get by kind of movie. But I loved her. I loved him.
Yeah, and I love that it was a
thought
short movie too.
It's
Wasn't
only
long.
90 minutes
Yeah.
long. It's very quick.
Oh, and I want to amend what we talked about before. It's not one of the main Best Picture nominees.
Oh, it isn't?
It's up for Best Foreign Film, like I
Oh,
thought.
okay.
It's Bohemian
But
Rhapsody,
he's
Black
nominated for best
Director. Yeah, but doesn't mean he's a shoo-in to get a Best Picture nomination.
Yeah.
That's happened before where you don't get your film. But it's Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther, The Favorite, Black Klansman, Roma, Stars Born, Vice, and Green Book.
Okay.
Those are the nominees.
She almost has a Peggy Lee look to her. She's a very, very beautiful girl.
She is, yeah.
And there's just something about
And both of their names, I'd like to say, because they're both very
if you'd
good.
like to.
Joanna Kulig and Thomas Kott.
There you go.
They're both good, and
I enjoyed the film.
I love this movie. I really enjoyed it.
I did too.
Yeah, it's
I did
a,
too.
It was
I
a
thought it was
cool
very
film.
good.
I would watch it again.
It was cool, and it is in gorgeous. Look at this shot right
Gorgeous.
here in black and
Beautiful.
white, and it's super. I just sat here kind of mesmerized.
Yeah, I
by
was
it.
too. I got sucked into it.
I thought it was going to just stay.
Oh, he
in
won
this-
Best Director at Cannes.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting.
But yeah, a masterpiece. I don't know if I'd call it a masterpiece, but
People throw that word around way too
well,
much.
it is.
But it's a
now,
good
here
film.
She looks like a little Kate Blanchett right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's a sexy little.
And what's
film.
interesting is that I read on the trivia, the director, who also was one of the co-writers of the film, this movie was inspired by the relationship that his parents had.
Oh.
Very similar to this.
Interesting.
In terms of the way that they got together, weren't together,
Yeah.
that kind of a thing.
Yeah, it was,
And the ending is not what I expected, I'll tell you that.
I didn't either.
I didn't expect that ending.
Well, some
It's
films
interesting, though.
end properly, and
Look
some
at that
don't.
beautiful shot.
She's
gorgeous.
She's
there.
a gorgeous girl.
I hope she
No
makes a
question.
crossover into Hollywood. I mean,
I hope so,
I
too.
saw a couple Hollywood credits under her belt, but I don't think they
Yeah.
were leading roles or anything.
No, she really
She's good.
takes this role and runs
does.
with it. I mean, she's so sensuous and
She
she's
is.
so. It's
It's a very interesting movie.
It is very interesting.
I like how there's a lot of Paris in the film.
True, and it's basically about their relationship. That it is forbidden love. They are not supposed to be together.
He flees communist Poland to go to France. Correct. Tries to get her to go with him. And
she almost comes, and then she backs out. And it's will she make it? Will she not? Will they ever get together? We find out.
Yeah, and then they see each other at different periods of time over the years.
Yeah,
it reminded me a little bit of. I don't want to say La La Land, but there was something about it that...
There are little essence of Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah, we've seen movies like this before where people, they see each other at different parts of their lives and you know that they were meant to be together, but they're not.
Well, Gone with the Wind is a perfect example.
Which I have not seen.
You have not seen.
But I'm going to go see it, like I said,
Rhett
in the
Butler
theater pretty soon.
and Scarlett O'Hara, they can never quite get together. That is a soap opera film. I'm telling you that.
I know.
It is 4 hours of pure, unadulterated. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
I can't wait to
You
watch
will walk away with just those images of burning Atlanta when Sherman came in.
Well, don't say anything. I don't know what happens.
Well, no.
Well, I know there's a fire at the end, but I don't know what leads us there.
I'm talking about, this is all set during the Civil War.
Yeah.
When Sherman came in, General Sherman came in, and he decided that what he was going to do to beat the South was he was just going to burn everything down.
Okay, yeah.
He came in, he went into farms, he burned down cattle, he killed horses and everything, women, children, he annihilated. It was as Marlon Brando said in Apocalypse Now, without judgment, without judgment. He just went in and plowed through and scared the hell out of everybody, and they just basically they just went, okay, we surrender. And that's how that's how we won the South, was through General Sherman. And but anyway, that's one of the set pieces of Gone with the Wind, of that burning down of Atlanta. We have great scenes. It's really the first time a movie was made. Well, that's actually not true. I was just going to say it's the first time we had these big, beautiful set pieces. But that's really not true. In Birth of a Nation, Cecil B. DeMille gave us some incredible stuff. I mean, my God, I have a version of King of Kings.
That's right, you told me about that.
It's so incredible to see. I should give you this film. I wish you would just watch it. It blew my mind. Just wonderful. But great film. I
recommend it highly.
I can't go 4 stars on it. I'll go 3.5 out of 4 stars.
3.5 is fair.
Yeah, I think so. It's really a knockout. It's beautiful looking. It's sensuous. There's the film right there.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay, moving on.
Let's move on.
We're going to move on now to...
If Beale Street Could Talk.
I'm not going to want to spend too much time here.
We could spend a few moments.
If Beale Street Could Talk is the next film from director Barry Jenkins, who won for Moonlight.
The acclaimed novel of James Baldwin. Right.
Who was a prolific writer. Black man, obviously, who wrote a lot about the experience of being black in America.
Being black and
black. And being gay, too, because he was also gay, I believe.
Was he?
I think he was, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
I thought he was also gay. In that documentary.
Ralph Ellis might have been gay.
Because there was that documentary that I reviewed on the show last year called I Am Not Your Negro, all about him.
Okay.
And I thought it said he was gay.
Well, you would know. But, I don't recall whether he was.
But this basically is it's a story about...
Those are 2 stars right here.
2 young people that fall in love. They get she gets pregnant.
Gets pregnant right away.
He gets thrown in jail. But we see the film through a lot of present and flashbacks.
Correct.
Telling us of slowly leading up to... not only how and why he got to jail, but the birth of the child, told in different moments where we see mom. First they tell the family, we're pregnant, and then a few months later, she's starting to show. So it jumps back and forth in time quite a bit.
Well, we don't see the kid actually till
the end, till the birth at the end.
We do.
But it's a beautiful looking film.
But there is a subplot that goes on that kind of derails this whole sense of the black community level of him getting her pregnant premature. We have a rape accusation going on against him.
Yes.
Down in a South American country. I believe it
was a woman from, I think, Puerto Rico.
Okay, was it Puerto Rico?
Yeah, but it allegedly happened here. I think she was from Puerto Rico,
she just went back home.
And she claims
that he raped her.
Yes. Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, and so this is a he said she said situation, but it's
at
a
the
contributing
end we do
factor.
find out the truth.
Yeah, we do. But you know, the
Here's your
family's
best supporting actress winner right here, Regina King.
most likely will win.
She will probably win for
She
this
plays the
role.
mother.
You know, I think she just plays the standard
Mother role we've seen before.
You know, Olivia Spencer kind of.
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer
Yeah.
kind of role. You know, I think that any. We basically saw this done by in Precious, the mother, played by the comedian
Monique. But wasn't
Monique.
she? No, but she was very nasty in that movie. I thought.
Well, she was
I
nasty,
didn't see
but
her
she was
nasty in this.
No, she wasn't nasty, but well, she was. There was a couple scenes there. You know, this is a black film. Make no mistake about it. The dialogue is black. The characters obviously are black. There's an African heritage kind of joy to this movie that is unmistakably beautiful. I think she, right here, she's looking at the sky
Yeah.
because she's pregnant.
She's very good. And
She's very good,
beautiful.
and he's very good
They're
too.
both excellent.
Yeah, you know, I didn't want to see this film. Both between this and Can You Ever Forgive Me, I was dreading the two of them. I watched Can You Ever Forgive Me, which I really enjoyed a lot with Melissa McCarthy. But I enjoyed this film.
Well, I did too. It sucked me in because I got to
Yeah.
tell you, I was interested in seeing it because it's getting a lot of hype, and Barry Jenkins, I really.
Best Picture nomination, you know.
It's not a Best Picture nomination.
Oh, it's not.
It was at the Globes, but not the Oscars.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gee,
But
I'm
I was
getting my
very,
Best Pictures all wrong.
moved by Moonlight, the director Barry Jenkins' last film.
Right.
And so I was interested in seeing it, but I wasn't dying to see it. But
No, I
it got
wasn't
me.
either.
And
No, it got me too.
I thought the romantic scenes between the two of them were beautiful.
Very
the
real.
love scenes between the two of them, with this beautiful music in the background.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was a gorgeous thing to watch. You can see these two people, these two actors, really sold that they're in love with each other.
Absolutely.
There's a hesitancy when they first make love.
Yeah.
They've been friends for a long time.
Right.
But their relationship has grown into a love.
Yeah.
And I bought it. And I thought it was beautiful.
There you go.
And I like that scene where they get the apartment together.
Yeah, that
and you
was-
see Dave Franco there. They're like, why are you
know.
giving us this
What was
apartment?
Dave Franco
Seems like
doing
it's
there?
too good to be true. He's like, I just like helping people. You know, it's kind of nice.
Too good to be true. The place was a warehouse dump.
Yeah, but it was a lot of
for
space
them,
for them.
it was
Yeah.
new, but it was such
guy
a
was
dump.
great. I liked
such
him a lot.
Yeah, he's the dad. He's her father.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, it really had a charm to
It's
it.
a charming
it really
little
did.
film.
It
yeah.
really is.
It's a little slow at times,
It's a 3-star film.
but it's I would
It is
say
a
that. That's a
3-star
fair
film.
assessment.
I think so. Beautifully shot. Look at this. Look at this. The greens, the
Yeah.
reds, the umbrella.
It's
The,
great.
You know, it's really a coupling of a film, and it's just got a great essence of heart and soul. And what else do you want out of it?
Yeah, and then if Beale Street can talk, Beale Street is a reference to a town in New Orleans, which is the neighborhood that James Baldwin, the author of the book, grew up on. And
No. It's a reference to where jazz started with.
It is, but that's where he
with,
grew up as well.
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah, but it's also where him and his family grew up. That's the environment that
But
he
in
grew
the
up
film,
with.
it's mentioned Beale Street was where Louis Armstrong started the jazz movement.
Yeah.
And that's what.
But it also mentions that he grew up there too, I thought.
I
thought
not
it
in the
also said
film.
that.
That may have been something.
Then maybe
you
that's
read.
something I read afterwards.
It must have been because
But,
in
yeah.
the film they only mention it as where Louis Armstrong started the blues on Beale Street.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, what it's really just saying, this film is really, the essence, if you break it down, is if the streets could talk about what the black experience has been in America, it would. You know, because this is in essence what a lot of black people have gone through. All these little
Right.
nuances of moments that we see in this film, I think a lot of people can identify with it if they grew up
Yeah.
in those communities.
Black Panther is not a good representation of
No.
the typical black experience.
I agree.
If I may say.
It's
I
an
mean,
extraordinary experience.
What Wakanda people would have that kind of experience?
But boom.
In Wakanda.
And
he
on that
says.
note, we're moving on.
Let us move on now. We're
We're
going
going to now go
to
from a Cold War to a private war. Another true story tonight.
There we go.
Based on the story, the life of Marie Colvin, who is a very respected journalist who went
For
into
the
some
Sunday
of
Times in the UK.
she went into some of the most dangerous places
Here's
all over
the
the
real
world.
person.
Real person.
Played by Rosamund Pike.
Who I thought did a very good job.
Excellent.
I must confess, I knew nothing about this movie.
Okay.
I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
I don't know how I missed her, but you know,
There's the real
the
photographer.
real photographer that is played by Jamie Dornan.
Correct.
In this film.
Yeah.
This film focuses mostly on Syria, but it touches on Afghanistan. It focuses
Look
on
at that
Libya.
face. What a face.
Yeah.
My God.
But
wow,
in the
beautiful.
beginning of the film, she goes to Sri Lanka and she gets hurt and she gets blind in one eye and she chooses to wear an eye patch.
Correct.
Here's the real person with Gaddafi,
All right.
who in the film is played by another actor who looked just like him.
I thought he was very good.
Yeah. But I gotta say, this woman is exceptionally brave. Going to the darkest corners of our globe.
She takes bravery.
Courageous.
No, she takes bravery almost into a stupidity level, where she is so she's so obsessed.
Yeah.
With I don't know why you put this picture here.
It's a young shot of her too.
Yeah, but we should have more shots of the film, I think, than her personally. But
well, no, there's shots.
Okay, all right. Regardless, it doesn't matter. But now I've lost my train of thought.
You're saying she was stupid for going into some of these areas.
Yes. Well,
we can say that to anybody that goes into danger.
You know, she's so obsessed with getting the story, and so obsessed with just completely bringing back the truth to the people. But that's what a great reporter does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all about the truth and letting people see the truth. They do show a scene in, I guess, 2000. When was that? 2014. She's on the air on CNN while she's in.
That was 2012.
She's in
Homs, Syria.
Homs, Syria, right? Which is where she died.
Exactly.
And
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Well, it's very, very easy to find out. She's a real.
But I went into it not knowing anything, so I didn't know that was going to happen.
I didn't know that was going to happen either.
Yeah.
Well, the very first shot that we see in the film is the very same shot that we see
at the end.
as the camera.
That was a great shot.
It was a
that
great
drone
shot.
lifting up.
I loved it.
That was awesome.
You know, it's a beautifully
There's the
filmed
director.
move. Oh, there you go.
His name
Beautifully
is
made film, gotta say.
Matthew
Where did we
Heineman.
just see this guy in?
We
He's
just
in everything.
We just saw him in Bird Box. He was the crazy guy that shows up at the house.
Oh, that's right.
Tom Hollander.
He's in everything.
He's great.
He's all over the place.
Yeah, he's very good.
You know, it's funny how certain actors, it's just like, now it's Nicole Kidman's time. She's literally in every other film we see.
Yeah.
This movie really spared no
and Stanley
expense.
Tucci. I liked him in
I
this
love
too.
Stanley.
He's always a welcome.
Her boyfriend lover kind of that she takes on. She's a very sexual woman. She does what she wants to do. She takes her life wherever she wants to take it, and she's got bravery beyond. She's got bigger balls than
too.
Godzilla.
I read that she was known to smoke 100 cigarettes in a day.
Really?
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, that is crazy. But so maybe, maybe it was a good thing that she died, as opposed to dying of lung cancer.
She's in Sri Lanka before she gets hurt.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? My first reaction to.
Go ahead.
Do you want to finish the thought?
No.
Okay. My first reaction to. Before I knew anything about this film, when I saw that it got some attention at the Globes, you're bleeding, by the way.
I know.
I don't know what
I
happened.
pulled off a scan.
Oh, we got a napkin up there if you want.
Well, thank you.
My first reaction when I saw this getting some Globe attention, I saw the poster and I saw Rosamund Pike shown with the eye patch. My first reaction is, anytime I see a movie with a character with an eye patch, I'm always just like, I can't buy it because they're wearing an eye patch, but they're not really blind underneath.
Yeah.
But this
they did a great job.
They did, and this sold me on it.
She pulled off the patch.
Yeah, no, it sold me on it.
And we see her eye kind of.
But usually, I just. I guess maybe it's because we've had so many pirate movies with eye patches that I have a hard time taking it serious in the real world.
Yeah.
It's because you don't see a lot of them. And when you see somebody with an eye patch, which I did a few months ago, I'm like, oh my God, that guy's out with an eye patch. You just don't see it. You just see them with the glass eye or whatever.
Right. Didn't we just see a movie with Rosamund Pike in a political role like that? It just seems.
Yeah, she was in with John Hamm in Beirut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same basic film to some extent, except that's John Hamm's film, more or less. It's John Hamm's film,
but, and she was more of the thankless government operative or whatever.
This is what I was about to say earlier, and that is that there's such stupidity here. There's full fire going on, right? I mean, there are people shooting to kill her.
Yeah.
What does she do? She stands up like they're actually going to hear her over the fire. The shooting at her.
It says press, right?
And she goes, free press, reporter. She goes, reporter, pow! Shoots her in the eye. I mean, how stupid can the end of this film, I mean, she keeps wanting to run back into areas that have been bombed beyond belief, hospitals and so forth, but it's just the heart and soul of this incredible woman, this incredible reporter. She gave her life, I feel, foolishly. I feel that she should have just listened to her beloved buddy who kept trying to save her.
I know.
And kept going with her because
he's still alive.
Adored her. Yeah, he's still around doing, well, so they said at the end of the film.
Doing what he loves to do.
Yeah, he's still a photographer.
Yeah.
And, pretty amazing, very...
It's a different breed of person that goes and does this stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, the people that work for Vice News, I mean, a lot of those people don't have... They don't have any fear. They just run into these areas.
Given up her life
to
go to these areas,
for the sake of the
interview these people, to bring a story to
Yeah.
the world that kind of we already know. We know how bad these people have it. We know that they're living in an environment of total war.
Yeah.
You know, and it's usually not necessarily war between another country. It's war within your own country.
I know.
Where their Gaddafi is just trying to blow up his own people because they're rebels. It's just so disheartening and so stupid, and it's just the nature of the Eastern war principles that we have on this planet, and it's heartbreaking. And at the same time, I don't. You know, there is a truth that has to be brought to the not the American public, but the public in general in the world. But you know, somehow it just seems to be a waste of time. I think
in some capacity, I know what you're saying.
In my opinion, to some extent, you know, I mean, we can go in and we see these people are being bombed on a daily basis, and we see, you know, she's interviewing people. Well, we were bombed here. I lost my brother. I lost my father. I lost my daughter. I lost this. She has reoccurring nightmares and dreams going on that are kind of the kind of an underlying grappling that she must go through, her own private war, which is basically what this film is about. And I thought Jamie Dornan was terrific.
He was great. I enjoyed him.
We saw him as a reporter just recently in the Her Villages story.
He was, the Her Villages.
Once
My
again,
dinner
he was
with
a
Andre.
photographer. Yeah. My dinner with Herve.
Hervé.
You said
I
Andre.
said Andre. Yeah. But you know, I guess to touch on.
He was believable.
Yeah, very believable. Yeah, and to touch on your point, if we don't have these reporters going to tell us these things that we know already.
Yeah.
Then, if the world then will not report on it, then these people who are doing these terrible acts will be emboldened to continue to do it in secret because guess what? Because nobody knows what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like she went to report on a story when she lost her eye in Sri Lanka. This horrible thing was going on that nobody knew about. And her editor's like, yeah, but why do you have to go there? Go over here. She goes, yeah, but nobody knows about this. They have to know about this.
Yeah, correct.
So there's that bravery to go to that extreme just to get the word out. For the people that are on the receiving end of the violence, for them, she's a savior. Yeah. Thank God she's coming. But there is a cost. There is a toll.
This very same war has been, you know, it's been being fought in these Eastern countries for
decades.
Not decades. For centuries.
Well, you're talking about like the wars between the different sects of. You're talking about the clans in the Middle East,
Pakistan,
and then the ethnic cleansing in like the Balkan region, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's all just a continual. I know. You know, it's the Jews versus the Palestinians, and it's just one guy just hates one other
Israel
guy.
versus Iran.
Exactly.
You know,
no, it's Israel.
The Kurds versus whoever.
Yeah, I mean,
and then in Africa, it's the Tutsis and the Tutsis and the other tribe, whoever.
Well, Tutsi, you can say that if you like.
No, it's terrible.
But Rosamund, you know, I
think she's great.
I do too.
I kind of thought she should have gotten a nomination.
I don't know if she was that good.
No.
You know, I will say this though about this particular cast though. I have to hand it to Jamie Dornan. He's kind of turned into our Robert from the Twilight movies, Robert Pattinson.
Pattinson.
You know, he could have rested on the laurels. He's from the 50 Shades of Grey films.
Yes.
He could have very easily sat back and just done those kind of films, but he's an experimenter. He's an actor, a true actor's actor. I love that about him, that he takes risks. He does movies like this. He did My Dinner with Hervé.
Yeah.
He also has done some other really cool stuff. He did a whole series with Gillian Anderson. There's a whole series he did.
I know the show you're talking about, yeah. It's called The Fall, right?
Is it The Fall? There you go.
She's British, yeah.
Yeah, she's British, but I mean, he takes risks.
He's good.
He's not just I'm just going to lay there and be a pretty face.
Exactly.
And, you know, do the Matthew McConaughey original pathway of just doing cute little comedies, etc. He's doing serious movies right from the start.
Exactly. That's important.
I like that about him.
So let's move on because we still have a bunch
We like this film though. It's a solid 3-star film.
Yeah.
Solid 3.
And
maybe 3.
And it's available on Blu-ray today.
Is it?
Yeah, because it just left theaters recently.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Velvet Buzzsaw, Netflix, new film, directed by Dan Gilroy, who did Nightcrawler, who is married to Rene Russo. He puts her in all of his films.
Oh, okay.
He's the brother of the filmmaker Tony Gilroy, who did Michael Clayton, among other movies.
All right.
And this is a very bizarre film. Jake Gyllenhaal giving another interesting performance as an art critic. This movie takes place in the Los Angeles art scene, and it's basically about this unknown artist who dies, and they discover he's got this amazing body of work, paintings and all this kind of weird
Correct.
shit. This girl lives in his building. She works for Rene Russo, brings her this stuff. I discovered this artist, and we soon start to find out that anybody who's come in contact with this art, who's bought it or held on to it, weird supernatural things start happening.
Let me cut to the chase.
Cut to the chase.
Basically a slasher film.
Pretty much.
It's a slasher
We
movie.
don't see the slasher.
Well, we do and we don't. I would have really preferred had we seen the slasher, had they brought him more to the forefront of the film. But basically we
It's
see...
an entity, really.
Well, he is, indeed. But we basically start to see people. There's John Malkovich up there who makes a nice little cameo.
He plays an artist. He's great.
The best part of the whole thing for me was the end credits.
Wasn't that cool?
When he's out there, John Malkovich is out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to cut right to this. He's out there on the beach, and he's doing that. They kind of do an above shot.
Bird eye view.
Of these crazy, circular, beautiful.
He's doing it with a stick in the sand.
It almost a stick in the sand. It's magnificent.
It was really cool.
This was a creepy little,
Yeah, very creepy.
ex machina kind of.
Yeah, it was
thing going
it was an
on
art
there.
installation at an
Right.
art show at the beginning of the film.
Japanese maker.
Yeah, and then
of,
somebody
this
buys
art
it.
thing. Tony
Yeah.
Collette, right
Tony
here.
Collette is in this film.
Correct. But this is in fact a slasher film.
Yeah.
And this dead artist has now kind of come back through his art and is now claiming he wanted all of his art to be just this. This was a cool scene.
That was neat, yeah.
I liked that
Yeah.
too. I liked her very much.
She was good.
I thought she was a good.
Yeah,
she
her
was
name.
the star of our
she
film.
was Zoa Ashton. I know she's been in other things. But
One thing I'm going to say to you about this film is that every time that young girl, remember the young girl? The young girl who was the secretary?
Your
more or less,
secretary,
with the
yes.
glasses?
Her name is.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does. Natalia Dyer. She was
Every time
yeah.
she went to another place to work, that person died.
Yes, yes.
She goes to Tony Collette. She goes to
You're right. You're
the
She even makes
the
a comment
guy.
about that.
The guy, yeah.
She
Every
discovers all
time-
these bodies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every time she goes, there are some interesting.
And she's the girl that's in Stranger Things.
Oh, is she?
She's the sister.
Oh, the sister.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Who falls in love with that
Okay.
one guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I like this film.
I did too.
I thought it was kind of fun.
I enjoyed it
Here's
for
the
its
whole
weirdness.
cast sitting
There's the
around.
director right there.
There he is. Okay.
Writer-director.
Beautiful Rene Russo. I'm always
She's
happy to
aged
see
well.
her.
Me too.
She has aged well. There were certain times in the film I thought she looked better
He
than
wasn't freaking
others. Yeah, Jake is great in this.
He's awesome.
He's pseudo-gay.
He's bisexual, basically.
Yeah, he's bisexual.
Yeah.
He's kind of a pseudo art critic, asshole,
Yeah.
pompadour. I am getting tired of John Malkovich just playing the same character every time. He's always that pompous jerk,
Kind of.
more or less. But our director, ladies
There
and
he is
gentlemen.
again.
But it's a slasher film.
Pretty much.
We get to see people, taken down one at a time.
There's some pretty gruesome deaths too.
Yeah, there really are. And the final thing.
That was
there,
brutal, yeah.
Featuring this line
Velvet
right here,
Buzzsaw,
my
yeah, that was
God.
cool.
And everybody eventually just kind of,
I will say that not to joke, but I think that his last film, Nightcrawler, was a much more engrossing, very interesting film for
Well,
me.
yeah,
I like that better than I like this. But I still enjoyed this for what it was.
Visually, I like this film better. I thought visually this was a
Yeah.
pretty cool film.
It was a cool visual
I
film.
like the artwork that they were using
Yeah.
and so forth.
I agree. The art design's very good in this
Art
film.
designs were
Yeah.
very good. I bought the fact that this was done by a dead artist, but that they were all creepified enough to
Yeah.
kind of come back. And as they stared they stared for a long period of time at each artwork, as Jake does while he's making love to his girlfriend. The piece is right
Yeah.
over her headboard. So while he's making love, he sees things start to
Things
move
happen,
at him. It's really a cool little film.
It is
I
a
have
cool
to
little
say,
film.
it's a different take on the slasher world. It's done in the art world, and I thought it was done they could have gone more into the horror aspect and had that, which I would have preferred.
I'm sure you would have.
Well, when you
There's the girl you're talking about.
there she is. I would have liked to have seen. We do see him at one particular point when the guy is driving. Remember
the delivery
handyman?
guy. Yeah,
The handyman
yeah.
who is now
Yeah.
also. He's a great little.
That
this
is really cool looking
Terminator 5, right?
You know who that
here.
looks like?
Who?
What's his name? Fred Armisen.
A little bit. I mean, we have the one scene with the handyman, and he's looking in his rearview mirror.
Oh, yeah, that was
and
cool.
he sees the one of the drawings, one of the painter's renderings,
Yeah.
the artist's rendering of himself. It's a self-portrait, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and we see it kind of come to life in his rearview mirror. That's the only time we crossed over into that real horror essence. where that character comes off the painting, the canvas itself, into the lives of our theater, us, the audience.
Yeah.
And I would have preferred more of that. I would have liked that character to have been more, and made this more of a horror film, because it is a horror film.
Oh, it is, yeah.
No question. But
they could have gone a little further. They totally could have gone further. I thought I felt that maybe the ending, I don't want to say it was anticlimactic, but I guess I wanted maybe a little more. But overall, I still enjoyed it for what it was.
I enjoyed it too.
I would recommend people to check it out. It's so easy. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Click.
It's not a great film.
No, but it's a cool little film.
But it's interesting.
If you like Jake and you like weird kind of visual creepiness, you might enjoy this.
I think so too.
Yeah, I would recommend it.
It's a solid 3-star film.
3-star, but I wouldn't go above that.
Absolutely. I think Bird Box is a better film.
Yeah.
Without question. I really enjoyed Bird Box
Me too.
a lot. You know, we should talk about that maybe.
We could talk.
Well,
we did review it.
Tonight. We did review it, but you know, it's good. Maybe next week we're going to go over the Academy Award films one more time.
Oh yeah, we
the
should.
Academy Awards are coming up in February 24th.
The end of the month, yeah.
So, but here we go. Let's do this film.
Another Netflix film that premiered last week, the week before, with Noomi Rapace. Close. Not a good title, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought.
I feel like either a different one word or needed another word to go with it.
Great shot of Noomi.
Yeah, she plays a security expert who we feel works for like a black ops, kind of like a Blackwater organization. She's not a government employee.
No.
She works for a security firm.
She's a privatized. She's kind
security
of like
professional,
she's kind of like Ryan Reynolds in the Hitman movie with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She's hired to protect a young girl whose family is wealthy. The father has just, I guess, passed away.
Yeah, they're heiress to an oil company or
she's
something.
She's an heiress to an oil company, so now she's possibly going to be taken ransom. She's a Britney Spears kind of lookalike here.
She also looks like Jennifer Lawrence, I thought, a couple
times. Bit. I think a little more Britney Spears, actually, I thought, as we saw her. Here's Noomi, though, the girl with the dragon tattoo, as you may recall. Later on, she did another great little Netflix film called Mondays, and
oh, that was good.
I love Mondays.
Yeah,
she plays 8 different characters.
Girls named Monday.
That's Britney Spears right there, my friend.
Yeah, I also I feel like it looks like Jennifer Lawrence on the side.
Oh, I'm seeing Britney.
You seeing Britney? Okay.
I really am. Here, look at her hair.
To me, that looks like Jennifer all the way.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
for me.
I'm seeing Britney all the way. But okay, you could be right.
But
anyway, things get very hairy here.
For this is the girl's stepmother.
Oh, okay.
She's very good. She was in Game of Thrones.
She was also in...
That's Indira Varma. We saw her recently, too.
No, I loved her. She was in one of the Johnny English films.
Okay.
Yeah, he's having drinks with her.
Okay.
And, of course, he's totally embarrassing himself.
Of course.
I love those Rowan Atkinson films. But Noomi is terrific in this film.
She's great in this film, yeah. It's a standard movie.
It's a kind of a little, it's an action-paced movie. A lot of blood.
Take in a little bit. That's always going to be what people go to these days for a reference point.
It's a little. It's not a revenge film, but it's she's does
cat and mouse
everything,
too a little bit.
Obviously, certainly, but she does everything in her power to keep this girl. This one. I love the scenes where she's taken prisoner, and she has to break free, and they're going to kill her.
Yeah, that was good.
I thought that was believable. Very well done. Noomi is just spectacular.
She's excellent.
She'll do anything. Remember that movie she made?
I was just thinking about that. The one with the creepy one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The creepy one where she's in the back of a van.
Yeah, it's the one where
completely tied up.
They're injecting people with stuff. Yeah, that was...
what the hell was the name of that?
It'll come to me in a second. I thought of it the other day. Yeah, I thought of it the other day.
Noomi literally had to spend... almost the entire, the first 3 days of the shoot, she had to spend in this hole covered up, chained up. In this film, she's got rubber ties on her hands quite a bit. This girl will do anything.
Great. And she has a great screen presence.
Absolutely.
I feel like she still hasn't gotten that role that's going to be as...
as brilliant as
Dragon, but I want to say not a landmark role, but a career-defining role.
Well, I think
she's still known for that. I'm saying she hasn't topped that yet. That's my point.
Well, yeah, but
she's getting a lot of good stuff.
That was right out of the gate.
Yeah, that was great.
It's very difficult to top. Your most amazing role ever.
I know.
But
she's still
iconic.
Very, very good. I like her a lot.
She's wonderful.
She's an excellent actress, and I enjoy her everything she's done so far.
It's a bubblegum for the brain film.
It is.
You just kind of sit there and, you're just
it's like a 2.5-star movie.
You can't take your eyes from it. I'd go 3 just for the...
The only scene I thought was a little silly was the underwater thing that happened. I thought that was a little too much. I'm like, I don't buy this too much. but I still enjoyed it.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, that was a bit bizarre,
But I like the high-tech house they were trapped in, that one scene.
Oh, at the beginning.
In the beginning, yeah, that was cool.
That's her house.
That's the girl's house.
That's
yeah.
where she
really
lives.
cool.
And, yeah, and they have a
In the middle of like
hit a button and all the windows.
I think it was in Casablanca.
goes
right?
down.
No, Morocco.
Morocco.
They're
There you
Morocco,
go. Well, that's
yeah.
where Casablanca is.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so moving on. We
there
like
you
this
go.
film.
Okay.
We're gonna jump to
American Hangman. That's our final film.
Real close. Yes, American Hangman. You can watch
Is there
it.
another one after this?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. American Hangman is available on Amazon. It's a new film with Donald Sutherland and Vincent Kartheiser.
From Mad Men.
From Mad Men. So this is kind of a very contained, claustrophobic type film. Right away it opens up. Two guys are kidnapped and being held in a room by this guy who's got cameras wired to the whole place. And he is broadcasting this whole situation.
He's going to run a trial.
To the internet, and he's going to have an online trial.
He's going to run a trial. Here's your judge.
He's a judge that's being questioned for a previous verdict of his.
Right.
And this is the other guy that's held prisoner with him.
Who is just really an innocent bystander.
Pretty much.
No, not pretty much. He's an innocent bystander. He's just brought in to make an example of.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's just brought in to murder. And I'm going to go right into it. Our captor here, who is caught, Donald Sutherland, you'll notice the handcuffs.
Yeah.
Our other guy is tortured.
Yeah.
And then assassinated.
Yeah.
Before
and
our
that happens in
very
the first few minutes.
First 15 minutes of the film. So now Donald Sutherland has to, as a judge, and as the I didn't really enjoy the court jargon in this film. A lot of great court.
No, it was well done.
It's a very beautifully written script.
It is. It's a talking film.
Intricate. Yeah, it's a play.
It is a play,
less.
basically. It could totally be a play.
One-man play. We kind of have all this being cast out into the world, where now the internet jury, the internet world becomes the jury. Is Donald Sutherland, who has put somebody in prison for a crime they did not permit, and that person has been put to death. So now we have Donald Sutherland now becomes he is on trial.
Pretty much
for
by this guy.
Possibly knowing that the man that he knowingly put to death was in fact innocent.
Because he knew that there had to be a swift resolution to the case, because it was a national tragedy. For the most part, is what it boils down to.
Which a lot of police will do.
Yeah.
We hear about these things.
There's one scene where they pull his file up, and that's him on the computer there.
Right.
We see the police department in this film. They have the cliche character, the policeman on his last day, has the last job. To kind of cover this case, but it's
this looks like right out of one of the Saw films, right
all
here,
the way.
with the green.
The first one's even mentioned.
I know.
This guy mentions Saw.
He talks about it.
Yeah.
Remember those two guys in that movie where they're tied up and the guy's got to cut his leg off?
Yeah.
And that's basically what Saw is. Then we have this girl here who is judging this. I didn't even get her. I didn't know what her whole deal was.
She was somebody that I believe, I remember correctly, that the police department uses.
She was an IT person.
IT person, not a hacker, but she does all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
They were hoping to possibly, but she's the one who discovers the whole thing. She's the one who calls the police department at the beginning.
I believe so.
She does. She does.
Well, I'm trying to remember. I think you're
she
right.
calls the cops and she says, "Hey, you got to see this."
Yeah.
And then they turn it on, and sure enough, we have this live.
He's using your camera. I mean, it literally looks like the exact same camera we're using.
There you go.
But I enjoyed this movie for what it was.
I did
a
too.
small, little, quick hour and 40-minute movie. I enjoyed it.
It's always good to see Donald Sutherland.
That was my draw.
That was the draw
for me.
I thought he was. There's a gentleness. There's a sweetness to him. I thought he was. Quite.
He's just a great presence. I love him.
I mean, to be a fluent. Look at it. This man is a born actor. He took this role because he just loves to act. Like Al Pacino and some of our, aging actors as we go through life here. And these people just don't want to stop. I love it that they found a role here. Donald is in his 80s easily. And, they found a role for him to do. And he does it with glee and joy. And
I agree.
I will say there is a scene at the very end where a person expires.
Yes.
And it looks just so damn fake to me.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh my God. It just was horrendous. But I don't want to go into that because you will all see it yourself. But between you and me, after this show is over, perhaps we'll discuss that. But
American Hangman is entertaining. I enjoyed it.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
And if you like Donald, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and we do get a verdict, so we kind of...
There is a resolution.
I thought he's very good.
He was good.
Something Hayden Cole, of course, all great, all great assassinator, all great murderers have to have 3 names.
Of course they do.
So, but I thought it was very good. He kind of had that Paul Dano kind of thing going on.
You know what I found out? His name is actually pronounced Paul Dano.
Oh, is
it's
it?
not Dano. We've been saying it wrong for years.
Well, no,
it's
okay.
Dano.
I originally thought it was Dano.
Yeah.
And then I went to Dano just because I think I heard someone say it once.
Paul Dano, yeah.
You know, but...
yeah, it's Dano.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoyed it. You know, you could do a lot worse.
It wasn't horrible. It's a movie that we probably should have reviewed tonight. It is kind of a throwaway film. Probably we shouldn't have. We should have ended the show, 10 minutes earlier and not done American. But it's just another movie.
It's all right. You know what? I wanted to see it because I like Donald.
There you go. I do too.
I respect Donald. I like him.
Too.
I've always liked him.
Yeah.
He's a welcome presence anytime I see him.
We pass it on to you.
There we go. Enjoy
there you
it.
go.
Now, just a little bit of what's coming up next week. What's coming out in theaters this week? We have the Lego Movie Part 2, which I may or may not see.
Yeah.
I saw the first one.
Will Arnett doing
Batman.
Batman again. Yeah. There he is.
I'm not going to run to see it, but I'll probably take Matt. We'll probably take my.
I will never see the film.
I will be going to see Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson.
There you go, Liam.
My father and I will be going.
They did cancel the red carpet on this film last night for the premiere
because of his comments.
His comments about
crazy.
You know,
this is coming out now.
Apparently, somebody raped one of his friends, who was an African person, and he referred to him as a black bastard.
Yeah,
and
he said that he went out.
And he wanted to hurt that person.
Yeah, he said he went out with revenge in his mind.
Yeah.
This was like 40 years ago.
Oh, was it?
40 years ago this happened, he said. And he feels regret for what he did. He didn't do anything, but he regrets that he went out there with that intention.
Why would he even say something?
It came up off the cuff, but you got to remember, with this climate today,
I know.
You're going to get yourself in trouble.
Well, at least he didn't dress up in blackface with, someone he knows in a Ku Klux Klan garb, like the governor of Virginia.
This movie, no interest.
Maybe
on video.
I like Taraji. I do. I think she's a.
But I'm not going to run out
woman,
to see
but
it.
It just looks like a silly film.
This is The Prodigy with Taylor.
I may see this. I'm a horror guy, so it might be something.
Might be interesting.
Of course, whose hands are those?
Exactly. Whose hands are those?
And The Exorcism of Emily Rose was not a great film.
But I enjoyed that film.
Did you?
I liked it.
I'm not sure. There were so many exorcism movies that came out.
That was a good one.
There was The Last Exorcism,
yes.
The Exorcism
of
Emily
Rose was a good one.
Well, she was good. The girl who played Emily.
Yeah, she was very good.
Actually, I do recall that film to some
extent. Yeah, you and I reviewed it. We both loved it.
Did we?
We both enjoyed it. I don't love it. We both enjoyed it.
There you go.
That's our show, folks.
That's our show,
We'll
folks.
see you next time.
Yep.
Have a good week.
Yes.
Until next time.
Take care of yourselves.
Adios.
Be nice to each other.
Please do.
Louie, where are you?
Road